Picture this. You're trying to merge a horse-drawn carriage onto a multi-lane, high-speed digital highway. Sounds crazy, right? Well, that's kind of what we're doing every time we plug in a modern device. For well over 100 years, our electric power system has grown from these tiny, isolated generators into massive interconnected networks. But as our whole world rapidly digitizes, we really have to ask, is this aging infrastructure literally obsolete? Can it actually keep up? Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into the smart grid and how we're upgrading our power infrastructure. Seriously, this is one of the most absolutely crucial infrastructure shifts of our lifetime. We're talking about moving from a purely mechanical, old-school past right into an automated, super efficient future. So here's the roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the century-old power grid. Second, we'll enter the smart grid. Third, the intelligent infrastructure behind it. Fourth, we'll explore India's smart grid roadmap. And finally, roadblocks and real-world pilots. Let's get right into it. Starting off with Section 1, the century-old power grid. This is the legacy system, the one you and I rely on every single time we flip a light switch or plug in a phone. Historically, these power systems were built to do just one thing: push electricity in a single one-way direction. It flows from massive, centralized generating stations straight to your home. Since it was designed in an era long before the internet, it relies heavily on manual operation and, well, almost zero communication. It's kind of like dropping a letter in the mail and just crossing your fingers that it arrives. It's a very rigid, fire-and-forget type of setup. But here's the problem. That rigid system is completely buckling under modern pressures. Our overall demand for electricity is skyrocketing. Plus, we're plugging in millions of electric vehicles and aggressively trying to weave unpredictable wind and solar power into the mix. Running this highly digital, modern lifestyle on what is fundamentally outdated infrastructure, it's pushing the legacy system right to its breaking point. Which brings us to our technological savior. Section 2. Enter the smart grid. Now, the contrast here is pretty striking. Unlike the one-way street of the conventional grid, the smart grid isn't just some minor hardware upgrade. No way, it's a completely new two-way ecosystem. It's automated, self-managing, and adaptive. This means you are no longer just a passive consumer. You can actually actively participate in how your own energy is managed. To put it simply, we're essentially giving a dumb grid a digital brain. It becomes an intelligent network that seamlessly integrates advanced sensing, communication, automation, and IT. Basically, it takes us from manual guesswork directly into real-time, highly efficient power management. So, how exactly does this digital brain actually function? Let's break it down in Section 3, the intelligent infrastructure. The very first piece of this giant puzzle is the advanced metering infrastructure, or AMI. Think of this as the central nervous system of the grid. It literally rips out your old, spinning analog meter and replaces it with a smart system. And this new system is constantly talking back and forth with the utility company in real time. And because of that continuous two-way communication, we unlock something called demand-side management. This is where it really empowers you. Through things like dynamic pricing, the grid can actually signal you to shift your heavy energy usage away from peak times. So you help lower the overall strain on the grid, and in return, you lower your monthly bill, a total win-win. But beyond your home, the grid itself gains these incredible new superpowers. Things like automated self-healing capabilities. Imagine a bad storm knocks down a power line. Instead of your entire neighborhood blacking out, smart sensors instantly detect the fault and reroute the electricity to isolate the problem. Often, it fixes the flow before you even notice your lights flicker. How cool is that? To see this massive shift in action, let's look at one of the most ambitious infrastructure projects on the planet. Section 4. India's Smart Grid Roadmap. India has clearly recognized that to support its massive, rapidly growing population, it absolutely has to modernize. They rolled out a really comprehensive smart grid vision. The ultimate goal here? Securing a future where reliable, affordable, sustainable, and digitally enabled electricity is a reality for every single citizen. And listen, this implementation isn't just for show. It's driven by absolute necessity. India is actively combating rapid urbanization, massive spikes in overall energy demand, and some seriously aggressive renewable energy targets. Plus, there is an urgent need to stop massive transmission and distribution losses. The smart grid is the specific, necessary tool designed to solve all of these complex challenges at once. But as you might guess, rewiring an entire nation's infrastructure is no walk in the park. That brings us to Section 5, roadblocks and real-world pilots. While the upside is obviously huge, the actual rollout faces some intense friction. I mean, mixing century-old copper wires with modern IT, that is a technical nightmare requiring massive financial investments. On top of that, entirely new regulatory frameworks have to be built from scratch. And perhaps most critically, giving the grid a digital brain opens it up to evolving cybersecurity threats. Protecting this new digital infrastructure is absolutely non-negotiable. So to safely navigate these roadblocks without risking the nation's entire power supply, India isn't just flipping a switch overnight. Actually, they're actively running multiple smart grid pilot projects all across the country right now. This lets them prove the financial viability, test the tech, and really harden their cybersecurity in real-world environments before going fully national. So I want you to take a look around your own community. We are asking more of our power grids today than ever before in human history. The shift from a one-way mechanical past to a decentralized, self-healing digital grid, it's no longer just a nice-to-have, it's an absolute necessity. As our entire world unplugs from fossil fuels and plugs directly into the grid, the ultimate question is, as everything goes electric, is your city's grid smart enough to actually keep the lights on? Keep questioning how the world around you works, and I'll catch you next time in another explainer.